Warning, the following video has not been approved by the Comic Code Authority and is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Comic Assassin. Today we're going to be doing another one of our comic book reviews to check out a few books that hopefully you might enjoy. But I could not do this show without sharing a little bit of news that I just found out about today. And I'm saddened. I'm saddened in the heart by this one. Because apparently the comic book character that's always been my favorite and the one that I've idolized ever since I was a child is a symbol of hate. It saddens my heart. And apparently now I have to go sue Marvel because me liking this character has turned me to the dark side, and maybe that's why I've lived such a life of sin. I just have no idea. Now, with all that aside, though, check this out. In Lincoln, Nebraska, they were having this event by, I believe, by a nonprofit organization. And what they were doing is they had these artists make sculptures of hands. I think it was called like Helping Hands or something like that. And everybody had their own renditions. Some had like hands with like, birds and like family and like just different artist renditions of hands. Someone did Spider-Man hands with the classic thwip pose, okay? Well, some woman called in to the city claiming that she found this to be anti-Christian and she believed it was a hate crime against the church, okay? And her reasoning behind this is because Spider-Man's hands are black and red, which apparently she associates with the devil, and that he does this kind of pose, his classic flip pose, which she thinks are devil horns. All right. Now, obviously, this is just a regular. I don't need to say too much about it, right? She's an uptight quackpot who doesn't have shit better to do than to cause some controversy. Okay. But I could not. And here's what's even funnier. The fundraiser, what they're doing is these statues are made, they're going to be auctioned off, and the proceeds are going to a faith-based non-profit. I think it's called that Campus Life. It's for like supporting Christian ministries in high schools. All right, so I don't know. I saw this story and I put the picture up. You let me know what you think. But whenever I see Spider-Man in the news and it being considered a hate crime, you know I have to talk about it, okay? Oh, but I'm still going to be hating, all right? So I actually just came back from my local comic book shop. And this is what pisses me off. Just the other day, in my last video, I praised my local comic book shop about how they helped me out when I had to go out of town. They pulled some books. But every once in a while, my local comic book shop pulls some shady stuff. And this isn't just my local comic book shop. This is something that's been known across the community, okay? There was one hot book this week I know was on everybody's radar, and that was Captain Marvel #8, right? The first appearance of Star. Me, several of the guys, Wednesday morning, sitting there waiting for the shop to open up. Opens up, we walk in. No Captain Marvel at all. All right, and and they give you the story, and this is what is normally said. They say they either underordered or they got shorted. Okay, and this has happened a few times with other major books that have sold out ahead of time and are already going for above cover price on the secondary market before shops open up on Wednesday. Okay, this isn't the first time. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. Say, hey, Captain Marvel's really not that popular of a book. They still had issues from like 1-2 issues ago still on the shelf, okay? So I know they order them, but I give them the benefit of the doubt, all right? Go in today, guess what I see on the wall? A Captain Marvel #8 for $20, all right? Now that is some shady shit. That's all I can say about it. All right. Now, there was a new kid working behind the counter. I didn't want to bust his balls because I know it wasn't his decision. But trust me, I'm going to be having a talk with my local comic book shop when the right people are there, because that's just something that's not cool. All right, that's not cool at all. And I'm going to continue some hate with my comic book review. Today I'm going to be doing 2 comic books that just came out this past week. They're both #1 issues. And we are going to start with Collapser #1. Alright, this is a brand new series from DC. And I picked it up because the synopsis seemed alright. Okay? And so, once again, with my reviews, there's going to be some minor spoilers. I'm not going to go page by page, but I'm going to give you a brief rundown of what happens in this issue. So basically it starts off, you see this woman, she's obviously dead. Looks like she's all blackened or charred or something like that. But anyway, she still has this thing on her. I guess it's what is the black hole, alright? So they're like, we need to do something about this. They remove the black hole, and it cuts to our Earth, okay? And so here's our main character right here. And from the get-go, he's paranoid as shit. Like, someone's knocking on his door. He's like, oh, am I getting robbed? I'm getting robbed. And he's like, oh. And he has all this internal dialogue, okay? So he obviously has something psychological kind of going on, because he has all this internal dialogue back and forth. Basically, he opens the door, and there's this package that's being delivered to him. And you kind of notice that this delivery person is not from this world, all right? And she gives him this package, and she's like, you're sorry that your mother's dead, and this is from her to you. And he's like, I haven't seen my mother since I was like he didn't really know his mother, never had a relationship with his mother. All right, so kind of weird. And then it cuts into, I guess he has like a day job where he works at a nursery home. Apparently he's hardworking. He has a good relationship with his patients. But his nightlife, however, is, I guess he's a DJ. Alright, so he goes and he's DJing up, and he thinks this is his big break. He's killing it, and then there's like a blackout and ruins all his chances or whatever. And then he becomes a little douchebag, and he, treats everybody like crap. But basically, then he goes back to his apartment, and he thinks that it got broke into, and then he gets like sucked into like this, I guess, a black hole, right? And this is it. So he gets sucked in this black hole, and I guess it starts to go into him. And then next thing, he wakes up and he's back in his bed. Room's okay, nothing's wrong. But then he starts seeing some weird stuff. So like earlier in the issue, he was going to this drugstore to pick up some cigarettes, and there was this like little sign over here, like in loving memory of somebody, and that had been like years ago. And he goes, and like the same person's not behind the counter, and he's like, the person that is behind the counter looks familiar to him. He's like, how do I know that person? He's like, oh, the picture. And apparently this guy that was dead is now behind the counter. So there's some weird things going on there. But then it cuts to him in the alley. He's trying to smoke a cigarette, and this guy who's trying to hunt down the black hole finds him. And this is that guy, okay? He approaches him, and he's pretty much like, hey, I'm here, you got to give it up. And I guess the black hole takes over and zaps him to another world, and now he doesn't know what's going on. First off, it's definitely for mature readers. There's some language in here. It's not for kids. In fact, both the books I'm reviewing today are not for kids. I'm giving this one a C-, and I would give it a D. All right. The only reason why I'm giving it a C- is because the character himself, when he was in the nursing, the nursing home, he actually seemed like a good guy, a guy that you could relate to, a guy that you would want to pull for. Outside of that, once he did his DJ stuff and he was outside of his home, like I said, he seemed like a douchebag, not a cool guy, paranoid, mental stuff going on. Like, and the story it's just kind of cheesy. I might pick up issue 2. I might, just to see if issue 2 gets better, but my whole thing was issue number 1, especially with a new character in a new storyline, you have to get me as a reader, or you have to hook me in. And this one failed to do that. All right, there was nothing really in the storyline that I really found really interesting. So yeah, this is one that honestly, if I had to go back in time, I would not have paid $4 for it. So yeah, one of the worst reviews I've had in a minute, because yeah, I just did not like this book. But we'll see what happens in issue 2. I always like to give any new book a chance, and I'm glad I gave this book a chance because I have a different point of view on this one. Resonant number 1. Now this is from Vault Comics. It's a new series they're doing, and I like this book. Alright, so this is how this one starts off. Basically, it's kind of like this little farmhouse, this little family. It's a dad with 3 kids. And he's like, hey, come on, it's time to go inside. The one daughter's crippled. She has one leg missing. And basically he's saying, hey, I have to go. I have to do this mission now or it won't be done. So something is going on. And then he shows this, hey, there's this thing called the wave. We don't know what the wave is. It's not explained in this book. But he's like, I have to go get your brother his medicine. Right, this is the best time for me to do it. So he also has another sick kid as well. And he shows us that if the wave comes, here's this little secret room. Go in there and tie yourself down. I guess you have to be secure when it happens. Which, first off, who does not want a secret room? All right, I've daydreamed this about when I was a kid, and still as an adult. Like if I ever built a house, it's definitely going to have some secret rooms. All right, now they'll probably be, filled up with all my comic books and won't have any room for anything else. But just the thought of having a secret room just seems so cool to me. And so his is like right behind like a little bookshelf there. But anyway, he says goodbye to his kids. His one kid goes off hunting. But look, it's got some pretty decent artwork in it too, okay? So he's going off hunting, or he's going off to go find his medicine, wherever that may be. The kid's off hunting. The kid actually does get lucky, and he gets the snare, a rabbit. And then it cuts to the father. So the father's on his journey, and then he comes across this guy right here who's like, hey, wait up, man. Can I travel with you for a little bit? So first off, would you let anybody who looks like that travel with you? And the father makes the right choice. He's like, nah, I don't think so. All right, like the dude looks like a methed out freaking. I'm surprised he's not a zombie in this. All right, that's how bad he looks. And then cuts to a scene where the kid, I guess, he's cleaning the rabbit, and he hears some other kids playing. He goes to investigate. He makes a sound. The kids look up, and I guess he's scared, and he runs off and leaves this knife behind. So I think that's something that's going to lead up for something else to come in the next issue or 2. I guess he does not want to be spotted for some reason or another. Anyway, the dad is like, tells that one guy, no, you can't travel with me, sorry. And he's like, hey, can I please have a chirper? Do you have any chirpers left? All right. And he's about to give him one. I mean, like, look how freaky this dude looks. All right, look how freaky that dude looks. And he's going to give him one, and then I guess the wave comes. So the chirpers are these cicadas, or cicadas, however you want to pronounce it, potato, all right? Which I really enjoyed, okay? Like, I'm a summer baby. Give me the 100-degree heat with that high humidity. I hate the cold, and cicadas always remind me of summer. In fact, I was hearing some earlier today just chirping away, so it kind of brought some like childhood love for me of cicadas in summertime. But basically, I guess they're the kind of the warning signal of this wave. Once again, we don't know what the wave is. So the wave is coming. The father knocks the dude out, and he's like, trust me, this is for your own good, stay unconscious. The kids all get in kind of the room. One is tied down. She strings the other one up, and then she's starting to have a fit. And he's like, just remember remember the words, like, I guess, meditate. And then it ends with the father meditating right there, I guess, to try to calm himself from the wave. So I really liked the book. I thought it was really interesting. I'd give it a B, probably a B+. The only thing I didn't really like about it, it was such a quick read. Now, sometimes a quick read is good, all right? Especially if you're trying to get through a whole stack of books. You're like, man, I want to pick it up. I want to just bust out through some books. But at the same time, knowing that, you spend $4 on a book, you want something a little more. But this is definitely a series that I'm going to keep up with, at least for the second issue, because I really dug it. So let me know what you think. I'll be coming back at you on Monday with some more comic book news, whether it be movies or the books, what came out last week, what's coming up this next week. And with that being said, just thank you so much for everybody who has subscribed and who has watched these videos. This is for y'all, not for me. And with that being said, thank you. This is the Comic Assassin. We'll see you next time.